Alright boys, I'll be real. Roblox getting worse. I guess David Bazuki back then saw that everyone was hating on classic slops, so he decided to join in by going all in on modern slops. So now we have whatever this is, Roblox reality. And yeah, just basically Roblox getting worse. I don't have any Roblox videos ready because I have none. And yeah, I don't know if I want to post Roblox anymore. That also means that my video idea list is kind of empty right now, so which is why I need a filler video, so I decided to make the one with this, which is my greatest Roblox achievement. A 4 video series jumbled into one video. Here's like the timestamps for all 4 of them. If you want to jump to any, just go ahead. But yeah, enjoy the video. August 24th, or 23rd, I finally beat the Tower of Inevitable Failure after 3 months of grinding. For a short amount of time of over a year and a half, Tower of Inevitable Failure was my hardest tower. Wanna know why? Because instead of going for a high insane tower, I went straight to extreme, going after a tower of Astral Eclipse. However, that soon became the biggest regret of my etoh career. Because I already told you, it took over a year and a half. It took so long that the name changed from etoh to etoh. It felt so hopeless that even my interest in this game resparking isn't enough. But in the end, even if the game keeps stomping all over me, I would keep coming back. And eventually, after many setbacks, I would finally pick up the courage to finish the tower. In this video, I beat the Tower of Astral Eclipse. So make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. August 22nd, 2023, I started grinding the Tower of Astral Eclipse. Now, since it's the first day of grinding the tower, I was stuck on floor 1 and very rarely getting to floor 2, trying to gain some consistency and learn the jumps. During that time, I noticed a very big problem. My FPS in Zone 8 and this tower is really bad. I decided to ignore it for now, hoping that it wouldn't be too big of a problem in the future. Anyways, despite all that, I still managed to push my personal best to the end of floor 2, with it stopping at the kill brick hole that leads you to floor 3. It's only been slightly over a week and the grind is already going pretty bad, with my personal best only getting pushed to floor 3, ending at the outside part. Yeah, looking back at it, was a pretty lame way to fail. Oh, and yeah, the FPS problem is getting even worse now, which was the reason why I was playing less of this tower. Because of Zone 8 absolutely sucking and causing me to play very less, after 1 month I finally made it to the selection floors. I went for the yellow floors because who in their right mind would go for the blue floors if they're grinding Tower of Astral Eclipse as a new hardest? God, I wish someone told me about the blue floor skip back then. Because I didn't practice much, I ended up dying to the yellow elevators. Some days later, I created a strategy for this jump in floor 3 that I don't like, and that was enough for me to get consistent at reaching the selection floors every run now, since it's my only roadblock of the green floors. With this newfound strategy, I was able to break my personal best 4 times in the same day, along with getting a new personal best at the red floors, ending it at the floor 9 lodges. By 14th of November, I made it to the final stretch 2 times in a row actually. Unfortunately, both runs didn't make it too far, as the first run, I fell from not jumping off the truss instead of just getting off for some reason. And the second final stretch run was lost due to me getting flat set on the first jump. By this point, my consistency is booming, being able to reach the red floors every run at this point, except for when I choke at the yellow floors. But most of my runs will now end on the red floors. Unfortunately, this was the peak of me grinding this tower back then, as I ended up failing the final stretch 2 more times to getting this button. Yeah, you're hearing it right. I have 3 final stretch runs that were lost to getting this button, and that's still my personal best. In which at that point, I got really frustrated along with the FPS spike, so I stopped playing as much. And that alone is enough to cause me to lose my consistency. The next time I came back to grinding this tower, my consistency was destroyed, everything was dead now. It got so bad that I wanted to just skip extreme and go to terrifying, even though I could have done a different extreme tower. Don't worry, I didn't get too far, as I only got to floor 3 of impossible movements. And after that, I just turned around and never looked back on this game again. Somewhere in September 2024, I found a way to stop the lag spikes. However, that's still not enough of a push for me to get back to grinding that tower, so my progress remains stagnant. In May 2025. My friend out of nowhere was suddenly grinding top difficulty chart, and after over 3,000 minutes, he finally did it. When he was grinding this tower, I joined him when he was grinding, and he suggested that I go ahead and finally finish off top Astral Eclipse for good, since I was already so close to finishing it, instead of trying to grind a completely different tower with 0 experience, which yeah, I didn't even get too far honestly. Yeah, I decided it's time to actually go back and finish the tower. Back to the slammer we go. This is my only footage of 21st May, so I'll just use this. So on 21st May, I reached the red floors, but I accidentally deleted every other footage, so here's the only one that I preserved, which is me rage quitting at Godspeed. So let's just start at 22nd May instead. With a heavy but hopeful heart, I went back into top Astral Eclipse. For my first run after so long, I managed to make it to the yellow floors, which is, it's not too far, but it is a good start to getting all my consistency back after losing it all. After a long loop failing of easy jumps, I eventually rage quit and immediately joined back, not learning my lesson or not taking a break at all, which I didn't even make it far at all, and I rage quit again after a few more rage quitting. I finally managed to make it to the red floors again, and I actually made it to the final stretch. And you wanna take a guess on how I fell? My 5th final stretch run, my personal best has not been changed at all, and I've failed this jump 4 times now. Because of that fail, I didn't really play much the next day, so I only got to here. The furthest I got was to floor 10, failing this easy jump. The next day, my friend tagged along with me to go back home after the school events that we had, and he said he wanted to see me play, so I tried my best, but this is the furthest I got again. Oh. And I didn't play for the rest of the day because I didn't feel like getting mad again.
Okay, why'd you rage quit there?
Because I fell. No, that was an outside. There was no net on the outside. After a few more attempts that didn't go far, I eventually stopped for the day. Before leaving, however, he told me that I'm really close and I would finish it soon, and he really wanted to see me finish it. And that's coming from him who hates obbies with his guts. So now I'm trying to beat this tower not just for the sake of my pride, but also for my friend over here. And so I started grinding even harder than before. I had many floor 10 runs today. One of them would eventually reach the final stretch again. This time, after looking at guides probably more than 8 different times, I managed to figure out how to do the button jump correctly. And so I passed it. And I've always told myself that I can fluke this whole final stretch after I pass that button jump. And well, was I correct? Well, probably not, because I ended up throwing this launch orb jump. So what happened was that I didn't see the platform, so I tried going back to the launch orb, but it was too late by then and I fell. 27th May, I had a lot of final stretch runs, but this is the first run. The next final stretch run, I managed to pass my personal best, and then fail this easy jump. And now, after failing the next jump after that, I present to you Tower of Astral Eclipse completed.
wrist hurts. My wrist hurts. 9th fucking final stretch, 4th final stretch run of the day, and 9th final stretch runs in total. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I win. I fucking win. I fucking win.
Don't see the connection. The developers at PAX didn't create the system, the publishers did.
And that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this, consider pressing the like button so more people can enjoy this like you're enjoying it right now. Oh, and I will be grinding to Catastrophic, or maybe I will go higher if I'm really bored. So yeah, this is basically the start of my road to Catastrophic journey. So yeah, I'll see you in the next etoh video if you're an etoh viewer. And yeah, goodbye. Previously, after spending almost 2 years to beat Tower of Astral Eclipse, there is only one next best thing for me to do, and that is to try and beat a new hardest tower. I was looking at my options here, and ultimately I went with Tower of Hopeless Hell because my friend is also grinding it. The name of this tower is quite accurate, because this is the most hopelessly trash hellhole I've ever played, and the only saving grace is something that's unintended called skips. I don't care what anyone says, even if the top obvious says so otherwise, this is the worst extreme tower in the entire game. And oh my god, I'm glad I'm done with this in slightly over a week. I won't make the intro too long, so let's just get right into it. Make sure to like and subscribe and enjoy the first part, or technically second part, of my road to catastrophic journey. My first run at this tower is what you would normally expect when you're grinding an entirely new tower. I already got stuck on floor 1. I was doing floor 1 legitimately, and I realized floor 1 is really trash. I hated floor 1. Despite all that, I still managed to make it floor 2 a lot of times, which allowed me to learn the jumps very quickly. And soon enough, I was landing all the jumps at floor 2 by muscle memory, and I managed to make it to floor 3. The further I went into the tower, the more skips I could find. But since I'm here to get a skill boost and not to get a completion, I ignored the skip instead. Here's where I encountered my first roadblock of the tower. This fat as hell wraparound. I really didn't know how to do jumps, so I instantly fell, and eventually I dropped back down to floor 1. During my time of guarding this tower, I was actually still working on a video I've already posted. This video was in the makings for a long time, mostly because of my exams. And now that my exams are over, I decided that I might as well just finish it first before I continue guarding this tower. And so I did. In case you haven't noticed by now, yes, I got a keyboard overlay. Although during this time I haven't figured out how to remove the green screen yet, so I'll just deal with it. Anyways, just a few days of not guarding the tower is already enough for me to lose my consistency. So I was back to loop failing floor 1 to 3. The next time when I reached the fat slope ramps again, I was prepared with strats this time and I was able to make it through. But I got greedy here and I threw a run. The next day, after getting another run that reached the fat slopes, I didn't throw the run and I proceeded to floor 4, where again, I found more extremely OP skips. But I still ignored it and continued moving on, which I then eventually reached floor 5. This floor, however, doesn't have much skips, but a very annoying jump that half the time I would fall on. I would easily put as one of the hardest jumps of the tower. Oh wait, I was wrong, there are skips in floor 5. Soon enough, I ran into a jump again that I just can't seem to land. It's this ladder flick. Since it's my first time around, I didn't really know how to do it, and I just kept falling. But thankfully, the net below allowed me to retry it as many times as I want, since it's easy to get back there. And after like 5 tries, I eventually made it. I'm too lazy to commentate over all these, so fast forward, I fluked floor 8, and I fell in this very easy jump, so that's not my personal best. The next day, I got really tired of this trash tower, so I decided to start using skips. But since skipping won't give me any skill boost, I decided that I would only use skips as recovery. Because of that, I was able to make it back to my personal best pretty fast and landing it in the process. So yeah, we're on to floor 9 now, and I hate jank gameplay. But despite that, I still managed to fluke the entire floor. How? Well, that's because every single jump I pulled out a guide before I did it. That's how. After a long journey, I reached floor 10. I was sure I was gonna fluke this floor, but maybe not because I ended up throwing this one jump. And I never made it back for the rest of the day. After all that misery, I present to you Tower of Hopeless Hell completed. There it was, right before my eyes is floor 10 once again. This time passing my personal best. Was I going to let this chance slip again? Well, yeah. I proceeded and failed it again, but this time I was able to catch myself a few jumps away from floor 10. And now, what's left between me and the wind path is this jump right here. And oh boy, I do not want to fail this.
I can't see it. No, it's not. It's so hard to see. It's so hard to see. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was great. Oh my god. 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 Record it. Record it.
Yeah, that's about it for this hopeless video. If this video wasn't too good or it wasn't up to the Tower of Astral Eclipse video standards, then I apologize, because I feel the same way as well. But don't worry, my next tower completion won't be so lacklusting. Although, during this time of editing, I'm still not really close to finishing it, so maybe that'll take a while. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Throughout my journey to Catastrophic, I have encountered many roadblocks, and one by one, I slowly trampled over all of them. As I move closer towards my goal, only one obstacle stands between me and Catastrophic. Terrifying difficulty. Throughout the years, I have been tested by various obstacles, but none of them could have prepared me for what was to come. That's a terrifying domain. Nevertheless, that didn't stop me. Seeing that there was no other option, I stepped inside, bracing myself, ready to take on any obstacles that I meet head on. This is Tower of Journey's End. Now don't get mad at my options, I didn't even know what towers were good. So anyways, I decided on a tower while keeping in mind of the gap between my current hardest tower, which is Tower of Hopeless Hell, and the next tower that I'm going to grind. Eventually I gathered up 3 options here: Tower of Fractured Memories, Tower of Impossible Movements, and a tower that I've never heard of before, Tower of Journey's End. The name looked interesting, so I decided to add it to my list of options. You might be asking, why am I not doing a high extreme or anything? I don't know, I just don't think any of the extremes are good. Now, Tower of Fractured Memory, yeah, I guess it's kind of good, I guess. However, it's a Cloy tower, so I won't be doing it at all. You might be wondering, what beef do I have with Cloy? Well, not really, it's just a skill issue beef. Tower of Inevitable Failure, a Cloy tower, 3 months to finish. Tower of Astral Eclipse, another Cloy tower, 2 years to finish. So no, I will not be doing another Cloy tower again. So that's baseline terrifying out of the way. Seeing the gap between Tower of Hopeless Hell and the other 2 terrifyings, I decided that it's best I go for a Tower of Impossible Movements. However, just after 3 days of grinding, I'm already tired of this tower. I rage quit so many times that I got this ring select. And yeah, eventually I decided to go with Tower of Journey's End, despite the difficulty gap. 1.14 difficulty lower than Tower of Journey's End. Right from the get-go, I already knew this wasn't going to be an easy grind, but after looking at my options here, I knew deep down what would I pick for my first terrifying. Day 1 of grinding the tower. It's pretty much like the first day of grinding any other tower, getting used to the style of this tower, except there was one difference. I wasn't getting to floor 2 at all. This tower is a terrifying tower, and it does its job well at showing me that. And I immediately encountered 2 jumps that I hate. Anyways, I wasn't getting to floor 2 at all. On the off chance that I do, however, something was wrong. This floor is much harder than floor 1. And it's really garbage at the same time. That's when I realized this floor isn't just a normal floor. It's a final warning to me, daring me to continue further. After some practice, I got better at the spinner, which is my biggest roadblock of floor 2. I'm not going to include this, but I broke my personal best like 4 times today. You would think that's a good thing, but no, it's not actually, because the personal best was extended by 1 jump each time. This footage, however, I got lucky and I made it to floor 3. Unfortunately, the run didn't go so well as I proceeded to throw it. Don't worry, this will be a very common theme later in the video. The next day, I managed to break my personal best and didn't fail the next jump. Very surprising. Although I still threw the run by doing this. Wow! And I had a lot more stupid fails later on.
Fuck!
But I didn't let that discourage me. I kept pushing forward for the day, and I got an even crazier ring select than the one I got earlier. And after breaking my personal best 3 times with 1 jump, I eventually managed to push it to floor 4. And once again, failing in a very stupid way. Next day, I didn't make the same mistake and I managed to pass the jump. This time, however, I did better than my other times, pushing my personal best by 2 jumps instead of 1. That's a noteworthy celebration. Next time I got there again, I realized how easily straddable the jump was, so I passed after aligning myself a little bit. The rest of floor 4 was free, so I was able to push my personal best pretty far until I failed this lodge, the only not free part of floor 4. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait long for my next floor 4 run, where I passed the lodge, and I made it to floor 5. And I got to listen to floor 5 music in the real game for the first time. And let's just take a moment of silence to enjoy this together. Anyways, it's back to opping, where I somehow failed what I would consider the easiest jump of floor 5. After 10th July, I realized that getting a new personal best every day is pretty dang hard. So I accepted the fact that I won't be getting a new progress every single day. And that slowed down my progress a lot, for the better or for the worse. Because I definitely feel a lot better not having the pressure of trying to get a new progress every day. Anyways, I was rage quitting way too much, so to counteract this, I decided to make a rage quit counter, where I would keep track of my rage quits, and each time when I rage quit, I would have to do 5 push-ups. Why did I do this, you might ask? I don't know, I was bored. It wasn't only until 19th July, 9 days ever since my first and previous floor 5 run, where I finally managed to reach floor 5 again, just to fail like this. Don't worry, I came back after that. With that, I landed my personal best jump, along with the remaining jumps in floor 5, and I flew to floor 6.
Oh my god. Holy sh**.
But of course, traditional style method, I do the run one way or another. 3 days later, I managed to land the jump just to fail the next jump after that classic move. After 4 days, I finally made it back up there and used up every last bit of my luck of the day to fluke floor 6. Now, did you notice how I said I used up every last bit of my luck to fluke floor 6? It's because this happened on floor 7 later. Here's when I was at the point where I was starting to get really bored of this tower, so I didn't want to play much anymore. However, I knew I would lose my consistency if I do that, so to prevent it, I got at least 1 second half run every day to make sure my consistency stays. Anyways, once again, I passed my personal best, and this time I threw this run because I thought I had to avoid the roof, so I stopped holding W mid-air, which caused me to fall. At that point, I started to search for any clues as to why this keeps happening. Why? Just why do I keep throwing? Until I remembered a video that I once saw before. I googled it up, and sure enough,
he goes from insane to extreme to terrifying. As the difficulties go, he becomes a she.
there it is. The answer that I've been looking for. I need to become a she. Using my 70 Robux budget, I was only able to come up with this. It's not much, but I'll have to make do with it for now. This time, knowing what I had to do past the jump, I easily made it past my personal best. The rest of floor 7 should be easy from here, although this avatar did not save me from choking on this camera control jump on floor 7. The next time reaching there, I was prepared. Once you land this jump, you're all set for floor 8. Unless you're someone with the username fake underscored ha 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 1111, then this happens. I just didn't understand anything. What was wrong? Why do I keep failing like this? Is it because of the 70 Robux budget Senai Kochiya cosplay? Should I have used a higher budget? Whatever was the reason, it did not help me cope with this fail. It wasn't only until 6 days later where I finally made it to there again. This time finally passing a section that I shouldn't have failed to begin with. Which now means that I am on floor 8, the so-called hardest floor of the tower. And well, did I get to experience it? No, because I ended up doing this once again and throwing the first jump off the floor, which also subsequently means that I have extended my personal best by 1 jump yet again. I knew for certain this was the 70 Robux avatar's doing. However, I didn't have Robux yet at that time, so I had no choice but to continue with this avatar. It took me 11 days for my next floor 8 run. Floor 8 is free until the outside part, which is most of the difficulty of the floor. Why am I telling you this, you may ask? Well, that's because I once again threw an easy part of the floor. If I told you I wasn't annoyed, I would be lying to you. As I just realized, I need to wait a long time again for my next floor 8 run. But thankfully, one thing that I didn't have to wait long for is my full budget avatar. I reached floor 8 2 times the next day. Not only that, I even fluked the spinner. Unfortunately, I fell to this downwards thrust that I didn't know the correct strategy for at that time. Just 2 days later, I made it back up to the truss, and I got lucky doing it with the same method that failed me last time. However, what surprised me outside was that this jump got slightly nerfed. Now, I don't know why they nerfed it, but it's pretty good, I guess. Anyways, all that practice last time still didn't save me from choking this one jump. But it's no big deal because the next run I immediately got back up there again, and I managed to make it to floor 9, where in good old-fashioned style, I would choke an easy jump yet again, and this time with the stakes being a lot higher than before. With my consistency getting better, I upgraded my daily quota to 1 floor 8 run every day. With this new goal, I eventually reached floor 9 and even fluked it. Not from determination, but from urgency. Now would probably be a good time to tell you that I was supposed to actually go on vacation with my family today, which is why I was looking to beat it today, so I don't have to come back to this when I'm back. So with floor 10 only left in my path, I failed. No worries, I still had time left, so I climbed back up again and failed the easiest jump of floor 10. Wow. With just about 1 or 2 hours left, I decided to accept my defeat and waited till I'm back to continue grinding this tower. When I came back, my consistency is, as expected, all gone. Although it took only like 1 day for my floor 8 consistency to come back, which I would then quickly notice that they once again changed the outside. Anyways, it still took me a few days to once again reach floor 10, just to fail the first trust flick. I was so mad at myself that I got another floor 10 run the next day out of spite, where this time I made sure to not choke, with every jump landed guiding me closer and closer towards the wind pad. I always believed that this floor, just like floor 9, was meant to be fluked. But of course, tragedy struck. I failed an easy jump once again.
Oh. Shit.
Now, the wind pad is only one jump away from me. Truss hooks in this tower broke on me many times, but never had the stakes felt so dire. I jumped on the truss, hoping that it doesn't break, and so... As I soared through the sky, memories flashed. Memories of me performing the final jump in practice, as I sat there wondering, when will it be the real deal? As I descend onto the wind pad, memories of all my struggles flash before my eyes. In one last split second, I took a gander down below, looking at all the obstacles that I've just overcome, as I just realized, it's finally over.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! No way! Oh my god! His ass! Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
And now, for the rage quit counter. With 44 rage quits in July, 75 rage quits in August, and 50 rage quits in September, we are now at a grand total of 169 rage quits. As for the tower itself, despite what everyone says about how much it sucks, I actually quite enjoyed it. Despite that, I still really hate the tower, because I swear to god Eternalists made this tower have different physics than other towers. The amount of times I failed the physics in this tower compared to other towers is just crazy. But other than all those physics fails, I actually quite enjoyed this tower. I hope I'll see you there again when I make my next and possibly final video of this series. And as promised, here's the fail compilation. And with that will be the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving the video a like, and also subscribe so I can gain subscribers faster. While you're at it, also comment on anything for the algorithm, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. In the world of Roblox obbies, there lies one game, Eternal Towers of Hell. This game is not meant for the faint of hearts. It's a test on people's tenacity. Of course, with that being the qualification, most don't make it past the first stage. For the ones that do make it past, however, one goal will be swiftly set in their minds. A goal so painstaking, so mind-numbingly difficult, that only a small handful of the already small batch of players would be able to reach. To reach the top of the difficulty chart. Catastrophic difficulty. For years on end, this was only so much so as a dream to me. But now, after becoming much better at obbies, it is my turn to walk the path. The path that was once deemed impossible. The path that was carved by legends so others could follow suit. On June 3rd, 2020, a young obbyist stumbled across this game. However, he was too impatient to wait out the loading screen for the first time players and left the game. Only a few weeks later did he give game a go again, this time waiting out the loading screen and getting into the game. Over time, interest for this started to build up for this ambitious little obbyist. Sometimes he would hit roadblocks, but a little timeout isn't enough to stop his adventure. Until he encountered the renowned remorseless difficulty, the hardest non-soul crushing difficulty. After some more futile attempts, he ended his journey there. After over a year, he revisited the game. With newfound interest and skill, the remorseless barrier was no match for him. Not feeling satisfied enough, he stepped into an area that his past self would have shuddered at, the soul-crushing domain. After 4 days of hell, he managed to pull it off. He didn't take any time off to celebrate though, as he immediately went after 3 more insane towers, conquering them in the end. Until he would once again hit another roadblock, the extreme difficulty. Right as he was about to win, he failed the final stretch 4 times, and that's where his flames of respark finally died out, and he quits once again. Over a year later, again, his friend too revisited the game and conquered a soul crushing of his own after beating a Citadel as his new hardest. This re-sparked enough motivation for him to come back and finish what he started. 7 days later, he did it. After finishing off another extreme tower, he decided it was time for the terrifying difficulty. Albeit going for a really bad choice, he managed to pull through after 3 grueling months. And now, it is finally time for what he has always dreamed of since he got into this game. Step 1 is to, of course, choose a tower to grind. Now unfortunately, when I was still picking for options, I was still suffering from the Tower of Journey's End effect. This made me not very brave on picking a tower to grind. Because of that, I went to look for low-end Catastrophic as my choices. I first checked every tower that suited my criteria in the main game. I hated all of them. I went to the sub-games to look for more options, but all of them turned out to be either trash as well, or has inaccurate difficulty for 60 FPS. I went back to the main game and went with Tower of Generation Failure. The only reason why I didn't want to do this tower to begin with was the sheer amount of GBJ spams, and also this ramp on 4-9. But after realizing that Tower of Augmented Misery is worse by a lot, I decided to grind this tower. Day 1 of grinding, the most memorable and iconic day of every grind. Now, unfortunately, during this time, I was still suffering from the Tower of Journey's End after effect, meaning that I had very less energy and motivation to grind this tower, which also translates to I played really badly, and this is the furthest I got today. Throughout the next few days, I would make little to no progress at all. When I do make progress, it's only by a few jumps only. So I try reverting back to my old style when I grinded Tower of Journey's End, setting a daily quota for a floor to reach. However, that didn't quite work out for a few reasons, the most notable one being that when I started grinding that tower, I had as much time as I needed. But this time, I have significantly less free time than before, so I couldn't even grind much even if I wanted to. And yeah, I didn't want to grind that much anyways, especially with my lack of motivation and energy. With that huge mind block and lack of motivation, I was dropping a 0 out of 10 performance here. By the next day, reality starts to set in for me. I started thinking that maybe I should do another terrifying tower before I even attempt this tower. Especially when I made even less progress than yesterday, where I somehow failed to jump to 2 twice. Until finally, this happened. It took 5 days into the grind for me to reach floor 2 for the first time. That just shows you how debuffed I was from that Tower of Journey's End grind I had, and I wasn't very pleasantly greeted, as I found a section that I very disliked. And also a jump.
Good, and then I fell. Well,
2 days later, I would finally get back up there again, just to fail the next jump after that. Now unfortunately, this is when etoh went into maintenance for its big update, so progress was halted for 3 days, and when it finally released again, something not good happened. Trails are doing this now, which means I had to take off my luck charm, my TODC trail. And I play really badly after taking it off. Not sure if it's because of the trail, I personally think it's because of it. That means that I have to finally say goodbye to my luck charm that has stuck with me ever since I beat TODC. Goodbye, difficulty chart trail. Just kidding, they fixed this a few days later. But anyways, despite what I deemed unlucky, I still managed to bring my personal best 4 times. Now, you might think that is a good thing. Well, it is a good thing. It's only extended by a few jumps each time. However, it extended far enough for me to reach floor 3. Luckily. Floor 3 is where I got my first taste of button progress for this tower. Unfortunately, I wouldn't get to experience it, as I fell later on back down to floor 1 and had no more motivation to grind this tower for the day. However, even after getting all that progress, my consistency doesn't seem to be catching up to my progress, so I'll still play like a bot for the next few days, and very rarely getting to floor 2 as well. After that fail montage, I was finally able to get back to my personal best, and I passed it, which I would then be rewarded by a netted section that guarantees quite a lot of progress if I do say so myself. This is also the perfect opportunity for me to practice the type of jumps that I would have to get used to later down the line, so I spent longer than usual here. Here's where the second button progress for this tower would appear. Now, when I press this button, I have 2 ways to continue climbing the tower. I can jump back down to the start of 3 and redo this rather consistent gameplay, or I can do this obby that the button generated that sucks. I don't know who in their right mind would take this path unless they're trying to go for a fully legit route. You can kind of guess which path I took. None of that mattered though, as I proceed to fail a filler jump later. Things would finally start to look up here though, as 3 days later, I managed to make it back up there to my personal best, and made it to the outside. Now, the floor 3 outside. Some people say it's the hardest outside in the entire tower, and I would be one of those people, most notably because it's carried by these 2 jumps, where both are not only extremely scary, but they're also extremely chokeable. Good news is, I didn't fail there. Bad news is, I didn't fail there. Remember when I said that things were starting to look up? Well, long story short, I lied. Progress started to slow down tremendously after that. As you can see, it took another week for me to finally get back up there again. And while I did pass the 2 scary jumps that I mentioned, I accidentally walked off on the jump right after those. It was at that point where the burnout finally caught up to me, so I decided to switch up on how would I grind this tower. Instead of forcing myself to grind every day, I would only grind when I want to grind. And the quota is there to stay. Now of course, this slowed down my progress even further. So I had to do a decision that would go against my ego. Times have changed, the meta is different now. And along with the fact that I've been getting less and less free time, there's only one reasonable thing to do. And that is to finally part ways with 60 FPS. When I finally use 144 FPS, I could feel the surge in consistency. However, that doesn't mean that the 0 out of 10 performances are gone. I would say that they just upgraded to 1 out of 10 performances. With a new burst of motivation, it was only a matter of time until I reached there again. And since floor 3 is free after that, I have done it. I have completed floor 3 outside. From this point on, it should be a free ticket to floor 4. Hold on now, are we really being too optimistic over here? Yeah, no, it was in fact not a free ticket to floor 4. I failed a filler jump and was too mad to climb back up for the rest of the day after that. 5 days later, after fumbling yet another ticket to floor 4, I was able to clutch myself back up there, and I finally made it to floor 4. Floor 4 starts off with a very annoying walk around section. Thankfully, the net below allows you to catch yourself at the end of floor 3 outside, meaning I don't have to redo that crap, and I just gotta redo a few jumps to get back up. After getting some more button progress, I lost my run to cylinder physics. Luckily, my consistency boom is still ongoing. Just 1 day later, I made it back up there and encountered my very first GBJ. If you don't know what a GBJ is, well, in short, if you fall into it, you're dead. Now, a very shocking discovery is that they made it so that if you fall into a GBJ, you just instantly die. You don't get to sit there and think about how did you actually fall inside there, you just immediately die. And uh-oh, my consistency boom is over.
Hill continued in the same book by writing a new
It took another 7 days for me to get back up there to my personal best. At this point, it's starting to look intentional. It's always 7 days. Anyways, after passing the GBJ, the game would make me do a bunch of filler raps before making me do this wrap around. This rap over here is one of the 10 crimes against humanity jumps in this tower. I have about a 10% chance of landing it every time in practice. This is my first time here, so I had to lock in for a little bit for this jump. Just like that, I've passed the remaining roadblocks of floor 4, and I'm all set for floor 5. Floor 5, the easiest floor of the tower, so looking is not too much of a challenge. While floor 5 is the easiest floor, floor 6 is the hardest floor. Basically, everything I just had to go through for the past almost 10 minutes was just the beginning, and it gets much harder after this point. There are many new jumps that I still haven't got used to this day, but luckily they're mostly netted so I can retry as many times as I want to. Since it's my first run here, I didn't make it too particularly far. However, I was able to first try one of the infamous jumps, before failing the next jump, which is probably a filler now that I think about it. Unfortunately, here's when I ran into another external problem. Now, part of the reason why it took me so long to get here is my keyboard. You see, it's been double tapping, or triple tapping, or quadruple tapping, or more, whatever, you get the point. While I was able to stop it temporarily, the keyboard adapted to my temporary fixes. This cost me many runs in the past, and I do not want to lose another run this way. The keyboard that has carried me throughout the hardest roads of the journey, I too have to part ways with it. Oh, and another reason it took so long is my usually unstable FPS. One way or another, I came to the conclusion that the keyboard overlay is contributing to my lag. So now, I have to part ways with my keyboard overlay too. Goodbye, Norbord. The next day, I got a new keyboard. Now of course, since I was on a new keyboard, I wasn't completely used to it yet. So my performance that day wasn't the most colorful, nor do I want to brag about it. I didn't have to spend too long getting used to my new keyboard though, as one day later, I already made it back up there and passed my personal best. Yeah, believe it or not, this is how the PB run ended, climbing down this ladder. And I lost the run to falling down this pipe hole. Once again, I made it back up there, and oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong clip there. I made it back up there and passed it, and proceeded to fail the next jump after that again, which is also one of the crimes against humanity jumps in this tower. Luckily, I clutched myself back up and failed, and again, until I passed it. Now, the only challenge remaining for this floor is the 4 studs stick out, the hardest jump of the tower. The only few things left my path are a few extra jumps before floor 7. Oh come on now, you already know me, it doesn't work like that. After 10 days later, I finally made it back up there, and I reached floor 7. This floor has an insane amount of button progress. The only problem is that usually the things that you fall on later down the tower are GBJs, so your run just ends anyways. Anyways, there's 3 unsafe challenges, so I had to do those first. Just like that, I've completed every unsafe challenge of floor 7, meaning everything else I'm gonna show in this floor is quite boring now, so fast forward. After so long, I'm finally on floor 8. While I did fall into a GBJ later, I was still pretty happy that I managed to fluke floor 7 and ended the day in a pretty satisfying conclusion. At this point, my consistency is starting to go way up. I was easily getting floor 6 runs. Before long, I made it back up there to my personal best, and I passed it. Unfortunately, I would fail the last jump before floor 8 gets free. Before I continue with what's left in the video, let me dedicate this short segment to this one guy who wants to be in the video. Hey man, I really don't recommend doing the same thing as I did, but hey, you're already doing better than me anyways, so more power to you. By the time this video comes out, he probably has already been in the tower by now, but still, good luck to your grind, and let's get back to the video. It seems that I underestimated my newfound consistency, as just one day later, I already made it back up there, and since the rest of floor 8 is free, I made my way up to 9.
Oh my god!
Before failing the con jump, a pretty famous jump back in the day.
Oh,
Seeing that I was near the end, I needed to start practicing.
シミュレーション自立によく似た日なる真実全てオートメーションもっとリアルな SF はどこ今日も今日とて忙しい目と目が手本した愛情と君の声さえもプログラムされたこの時代のリファイ構造的に高まる願望が呼んだ花火形骸化した時の中で声だけがさまよう水面下では銀河の果て無遊病の甘い恋衝動的に口走った世界の欲このまま二人向こう側の月で Die Glory Yes and Never 今じゃけども宇宙ステーションここでは役に立たない一夜インカメーションしてもまた一緒24/7だけじゃ足りないいつではかける月のような永遠のスペースのな結末でも構わない VX のトリックあの日星の中で二人で会えたこともう僕の女神でもないと言って少しが流れる情報の波に引きかけし 不穏な予感に体震えて歩き出せず記憶のかけらに願いたくしても一人では何一つさえ動かせないんだ迷い切る中譲れない願いがあったあなただけに僕は全てをかけ歩く黒い空に昇る花は命をつないだ可憐な空 ため息残して鼻からこぼれてく雫を眺めていた君だけが僕の全てを知っているのかなどんな空の下もそばに置いていたくてそんな何かを求めて歩いてきた
Oh my god.
揺れる花びらただ美しくて消えないように祈った意味をなくす時の僕は泣いてるのかなかすんだ三日月がきらめいてる塞いだ扉を叩くように光った響く夜空の大きな息が閉ざしてた心包み優しくささやくこの手を握って流れたいくつもの日々の中に埋もれてた色のない僕の涙深く鼓動に戸惑いながら本当の心にまた鍵をかけていくかすんだ三日月がきらめいてる塞いだ扉を叩くように光った響く夜空の大きな息がこの手を引いた心の鍵を開ける静かに
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so close.
Here I am at floor 10. The floor that decides whether you win or you lose. No amount of practice could have made me any less nervous. It was either this grind continues on or it ends today.
No!
This isn't just a story of a kid traversing through Lego towers. This isn't just a story of someone getting a video game achievement. This is the story of someone who didn't give up. Someone who never gave up. Someone who held on to the slimmest bit of hope and in the end, he achieved something his younger self was unable to do. He completed a journey that his younger self had carved out for him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video of the series, feel free to do that. There's a little bit more to the video, but those parts don't require me talking anymore, so this is where you part ways. Unless you watch my other videos, which I welcome you to do so. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you got anything bad to say about the video, well, feel free to comment anything negative as well then. But other than that, goodbye.